This call is being recorded.
Welcome to your daily writing habit. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book, but you need some help finishing it, you are in the right place. Good morning. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc. Inc, like that stuff you write with, christine-inc.com. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author. They are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. And today, I am so excited to have a special guest here on your daily writing habit, Lauren Cleveland. Lauren is a youth services librarian for Jacksonville Public Library, working at a neighborhood branch in the urban core of Jacksonville, Florida. She is a mother of three and fellow aerial circus arts lover who aspires to one day do elbow hangs as well as Christine. And that's so funny, just to explain to everybody who's not so much circus, but you guys know at this point that I'm circus. The lira, that metal hoop, that steel hoop that we like to play in, that Lauren and I play in, sometimes I like to hang by my elbows, and for some reason it bothers me less than a lot of other people when they hang by their elbows off of a steel hoop. Go figure. So welcome, Lauren.
Hi.
That was good, right? So we have to explain our circusing to the audience. Even I've mentioned it a few times here on this show, but I like to explain it.
Well, you do excellent elbow hangs, which is something that, because the inside of your elbow is so tender and it just hurts so bad when I try it. It doesn't matter what else I can excel at in the air. For some reason, that is always hard for me. And when you do it, you make it look so easy.
I wonder if it's just, and thank you, and I wonder if it's from being a writer all these years that I just can't feel my arms anymore because I've typed millions of words. The authors, my fellow authors, the authors, we'll get that. See, we just brought circus back to the reality of your daily writing habit. Fellow writers, can you feel your arms? Let me know. All right, well, let's talk library. I'm so excited about this because this conversation originated when Lauren and I were chatting on Facebook, and she was just saying, hey, do your authors know about all the benefits and, why they should get their books in libraries and how to do that? And I'm just like, I don't think they do because I don't. So I'm excited to be educated today. So let's start with Lauren. Can you share a little bit about what you do for a living and why you are so passionate about it?
So I am a librarian, and I want to know from your perspective what that profession looks like in your mind.
I will admit it's a very foggy picture because the librarian is the person that's there when I get lost trying to find something. I mean, up until you and I spoke the other day over at Circus, it's like you don't sit there organizing the Dewey Decimal little index card things in the card catalog all day. Oh no, there's technology now. So this is why I'm so, another reason why I'm so excited that you're on the show today, because I have such a foggy picture. I would love for you to tell me what that looks like and tell me why you love it so much.
So it's a big common misconception with librarians. We are pictured as that stereotypical, we got the big glasses and the bun on our head, and we're shushing everyone who makes a noise in our library. And that's just not true. That's not it anymore. I'm not sure that was ever real. I honestly don't even believe in quiet libraries. I mean, you know me. Can you imagine me sitting at a desk telling everyone to be quiet?
No, I mean, you're circus, and your kids are circus. Lauren's like the whole circus family. So no, I there's no bun in her hair. Just verify for everybody. There's no big glasses or bun in her hair or whatever. She's upside down, no bun, no glasses. Anyway.
Well, I'm definitely not quiet, and I don't believe in keeping an entire library silent. I think that there are places for that, and that should be an exception and availability to people. But I don't believe in silent libraries. But me personally, I am specifically a youth services librarian, and that means that I specialize to work with ages birth through 18, as well as their parents. So we are leading children through programs. I do organize books. Occasionally, I am out there shelving books and making sure they're in the correct order in Dewey Decimal and in the fiction sections and graphic novels and all the other genres and formats that we have. But libraries are so much more than just books, too. We have so much more to offer. My library in particular tends to get a lot of traffic for computer use. In my area, not everyone can afford internet or have their own computers at home. So we work with our community to provide internet that's free. We provide computer use that's free. So people are able to work um, instead of working from home. If that's not availability, they can work from our library. We have places within the library that's quiet and secluded for them to be able to get their work done. We have a lot of people who are job searching, people who are filing their taxes, as well as a safe place for people to go. Public libraries are one of the last few places that are truly open to the public, and we don't charge for access. So, I mean, can you really think of many other places in our country that even offer that anymore? Um, I once heard that public libraries referred to as the room of requirement, and I think that was like the most perfect description I've ever heard of public libraries, because we're so much more than just books. So we've got a lot of those too.
That's a great description, especially for the fellow Harry Potter fans out there. I know they totally get it. For those who are not Harry Potter fans, that's what the room of requirement was referring to. Well, that's awesome. And yeah, even at Starbucks, they want you to eventually buy some kind of beverage if you're going to sit there for all day. Like a lot of authors I know and writers work at, Starbucks and coffee shops and things like that. But no purchase required at the library.
Exactly. We don't require purchases. In most libraries now, we allow food and beverage in certain areas. Obviously, there's places where it shouldn't go. We have special collections and things that archives that should stay away from specific things. But we try to make that open and inviting and a place that people feel comfortable. We are it's a resource available to the community, and we want to make sure that the community is able to use it. And if we were hushing you and making you be silent the entire time you were there and telling you to put your stuff away and you can't use that and you can't touch that, it wouldn't feel comfortable. And that's why we've kind of changed and evolved over the years of how we make libraries available to our communities.
That's awesome. And in addition to the things that you just said, is there anything else that maybe we as the public wouldn't know or appreciate, or any misconceptions, like a number one thing where it's like, this is the number one thing people just don't know about libraries?
I think that people don't understand how much libraries are willing to work with you and help you. Um, our job as librarians is to get information to the public. We believe in our communities having access to information. And now that's not just books. That can be internet use, that can be e-resources. We have databases, we have ebooks and audiobooks online that are available with your library card numbers. Particularly in our neighborhood, in our communities, we work with the local school district so that all students can use their school ID numbers to get access to, as if it was a library card. They can use the same resources as well. And we try to make sure that we are there to help you get what you need. So some days for me, that looks like helping people apply for a job. I've helped people apply for a job. I've helped people come back and print out and fill out that information they need to start that job. I've helped a newly pregnant young woman find the next steps in her prenatal care. I have sat down and read books with babies in my lap. I've helped people find information on whether or not their house is haunted. That was this week. Um,
Wow.
I've helped kids and their parents work through school projects together. I've helped junior high students with their algebra homework. I helped kids make a presentation we have a group, the Friends of the Library is a nonprofit that supports and advocates for libraries. And our friends group was at our library, and they were they had an organization going on that was supporting Black History Month. And the students wanted to show their appreciation, and I helped them create posters and reports to present to them to show their appreciation for their Black History Month and for the Friends group, and for their own history to show how they've been impacted through it. So it's these kids, for me, we want to make sure that they know that they're important and they know that they're powerful and that they know that they're worth it.
That's awesome. And I'm sitting here wondering why the Discovery Channel hasn't done an entire reality show series on the library. My goodness,
You
behind
have
the scenes of the
no
library.
idea.
You never know who's listening to the show. So if anybody has any friends at the Discovery Channel, connect with me and I'll connect you with Lauren. Like this, or just with any library. Just hey, Discovery Channel. Just go down to
It's
the
so
local
true.
library.
It's
This
so
is
true.
an amazing television show idea. I can really like
Because
picturing it
we
in my mind.
are, yeah, because we are free and open to the public, we do run into a lot of really crazy situations. We are almost a sanctuary to people, especially those who are without a home. We're a safe place that they can go, to kids that are struggling or can't go home at the moment, or kids that don't have another place to be for a little while. We have this safe space for them to, socialize and hang out with their friends. We have a safe place where we're not going to judge you for the information that you're trying to find and don't know how to look up. So we do run into a lot of really interesting situations. We sometimes run into unsafe situations that we have so many policies and procedures for. I actually this past week went through a lot of training on the safety within the library. Sometimes when you're in certain neighborhoods, you run into situations that can be kind of scary, and we know how to handle them. Um, so yeah, some of the stuff that comes across, you would have no idea the things we deal with. Because what do you do when there's just a few of you on staff and suddenly all the toilets back up? Who do you think handles that? You don't have somebody in the building who suddenly handles backed up toilets. You have to take a librarian, and they have to know who to call and how to handle that situation. What happens when an entire shelf of books falls down and you have to make sure that nobody got hurt? You have to make sure that everything gets back in the place where it belongs. It's what happens when the kids are getting very loud and picking fights. Who's going to handle those situations? It's the librarian.
Yeah, there's definitely a television show there. That's So now let's move into what my authors definitely are probably wondering at this point. How do I get my book into the library? And however much of the process you can share with us, and why would they even want to in the first place? Because I know we're all so focused about getting our books on Amazon and all the online book websites and making sure that it's available that way. But why should we get our books in the library, and how do we do that?
Well, we have an amazing amount of people visiting libraries all the time. We track all of our books that go through the system, things that are checked out, things that are not checked out. So we have a system where we know what people are looking for, because a lot of times, people aren't going straight to Amazon to find a book. They're going to the local library to see. And libraries, we buy books too. So it's not just, they don't just magically appear there. Obviously, we have budgets that are going towards our collection. And how are we supposed to know that you have this new book released that may be absolutely perfect for some of our collections in our public libraries if you haven't let us know that it exists? So if you go to any library website, you are likely to find, particularly at Jacksonville Public Libraries, we have a spot that says, how do I? And you can go through it, and it says, how do I get a book recommended, and how do I get my book in the library? And there are processes that you can go through. There's usually an application you fill out that recommends your book for the library, and they will be reviewed. I promise. We will review your book because we're interested.
That's awesome. And another question that just occurred to me, because I'm always thinking on behalf of my authors, my listeners, and I can hear a lot of them saying, but what if my book is self-published? Is there a different, do you guys I don't know if you can say if there's bias towards traditionally published, or do you just look like if it's a fit, it's a fit. We don't even care how it's published. But I know a lot of my self-published authors are probably saying, what about us?
There are specific ways that we have to get certain books. We have to be able to go through certain kind of contracted vendors to get books when we traditionally buy them. However, we do take donations of books that we will review to make sure that they meet our collection development policy, and we will put them in our collection that way as well.
Awesome. Good. So we have a shot. Which is great, because that's
and there is,
this,
look into your local libraries, because a lot of local libraries will have a local authors collection. Jacksonville has their local authors collection at the main library, and it is actually a special place that people can go that I am looking to read something from somebody from my community. And that is a really great place to be because you are part of that community and you represent them. So they like to look and see that. It's always a really I don't know, kind of a prestigious place to be, that we really enjoy having more local authors added to our collection. Um, so always look into that as well, because we would absolutely love to have your books in there.
That is an awesome suggestion. So yeah, start with a local author collection at your local library. I can already hear my listeners getting excited about that. That's such an easy suggestion to implement. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anything else that you'd like us to know? Because you said, there's the procedure, so people should just, in general, like outside of the local authors collection, just, check with their librarian for, the procedure for getting into the library. It's definitely worth asking. As we know, as authors, you don't know what is available to you unless you ask. So, never assume that it's just the quote unquote good guys or anything like that. You don't know unless you ask. So definitely encourage everybody to do that. Excuse me. Anything else that you'd like authors to know about getting their books into libraries?
You're so right. Always ask. Librarians love questions. We love to be asked, and we love to help you find the answer for that. So if you say, hey, I just wrote a book and it's published and I want to get it into your library, we would be super excited, and we will find the way for you to get it into that. You can always, if you're kind of nervous about walking into a library and asking questions about that, most of our websites will have some information that'll lead you to that, but we know it as well. And we would be happy to get you through that process and walk you through it and get you in our libraries, because you know what? If you talk to me at my library about your new book and then we get it in our library, guess what's going to be on my next display when people walk through the door? Because you know what? I work personally with this, and guess who's in charge of the displays? That's me. So that's something that I would absolutely love to be able to show off to my community. Say like, look what came from our community in here. But you can always reach out to other libraries throughout the country too. We all have websites that you can look at to recommend books. We love taking recommendations. We love to see even if it's not your own book, if you know somebody else who you think that their book would be really good in their collection, reach out and let them know, because we want to know. We want to know what our community wants, and we want to be able to better help them. I think that a lot of people have a misconception that libraries are it's about the library and it's about our things, and you don't break our stuff and you have to be quiet and you have to follow all our rules. But no, we are here for you. So if you want it, we want to make it happen. Also in our communities, specifically Jacksonville has something called Jack's Book Fest. I know that they have them in other major cities around the country as well, where we get a lot of authors that come in, and we have this big, literally a festival at our library where we bring in local authors. We bring in authors from out of town that are very popular in our area, and we get to meet with the authors. We get to learn about new books that are being released, and it's a really great event that you can kind of get your name out there. It's open to the community, and it can kind of help with your popularity, help get your name out there. We've got that coming up actually on February 29th here in Jacksonville, so I'm hoping to see you there.
Yeah, you've given me all these ideas. And this is so good. I love what you're saying, that, librarians and libraries just are almost like partners and advocates and, fellow people on our team of like people who just love books as much as authors do and just really want to help us. So I love that kind of like camaraderie and advocacy that you're pointing out here. I think that's something that, a lot of us don't know about. So I'm loving every part of this interview today, Lauren. This is so great.
Absolutely. And I've got a history in advertising and marketing as well before I went into the library world. And so I try to take that and put it into the library world too, so that we're trying to advocate what we have to the public. We want to make sure that we are able to get what you have and what you want the public to have, and we want to bring it to the public. So we're just kind of a middleman that's using what we have available to us to get you to the rest of the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all this, and I'm sure authors are very excited about all this information, and definitely everyone Lauren is a member of my Ink Authors group, Ink Authors, INK, on Facebook. So, and her name is Lauren Cleveland. If you want to tag her in any posts about this or anything else on your mind, but I'd love it if everybody listening, make sure you're a member of Ink Authors on Facebook. That's the place where you can get, I mean, we have an amazing community of fellow authors, resources like Lauren, publishers, publicists, graphic designers, and then, authors like yourselves, some of you that are just kind of maybe possibly thinking and pondering about maybe possibly thinking about writing a book at some point, all the way up through New York Times bestselling authors. So we have the full gamut, and we have some authors that are kind of well known. You'll find out when you get in there. So I love my Ink Authors community. I say this probably on the show every day, how much I love my Ink Authors community, but I hope you will all join us there. And Lauren, thank you again so much for being on the show today. Totally appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I'm really excited too. If there's any questions about libraries and how it works, I would love to find the answers for you.
Yay, love it. All right, again, Ink Authors. Lauren is the newest member of Ink Authors, so drop by, say hello, tell her how much you love libraries.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm easy to find because I'm one of the ones with my profile picture is always something circus related.
Yeah, you can find it. We have a huge circus presence in Ink Authors, shockingly enough.
Crazy.
Well, well, as always, everyone, thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write and finish writing an awesome book, please let them know about this show, Your Daily Writing Habit. They can listen anywhere where they get podcasts or on their Amazon Alexa device under Flash Briefing Skills. Until tomorrow, happy writing.